The story opens in the Andros sector, where the largest military alliance in galactic history has assembled. Commander Vex leads the Galactic Defense Coalition, a massive fleet of over 800 warships from 12 different species. The alliance formed after years of tension between the Outer Rim colonies and the core worlds. Captain Rex, a veteran warrior from the reptilian Saurid race, stands on the bridge of his flagship watching the endless formation of ships. The armada includes the beetle-like Chitin Empire's heavy cruisers, the gaseous Nebula Folk's energy vessels, and the crystalline Shardling's diamond-hulled destroyers. Each species brought their most advanced technology and deadliest weapons. The fleet waits at the edge of human space, preparing for what military analysts call Operation Final Sweep. Intelligence reports suggest humans have been secretly building weapons in the dark regions beyond their borders. The Coalition received disturbing reports about entire enemy fleets vanishing without trace near human territory. Admiral Cora, the blue-skinned Aquarian fleet commander, reviews the battle plans. The Coalition's strategy seems perfect. Surround human space from all directions, overwhelm their defenses with superior numbers, and force immediate surrender. Military computers calculate a 99.7% chance of victory within the first hour. The various alien commanders discuss human military capabilities during a final briefing. Most laugh at the idea that humans could pose any real threat. Humans are known throughout the galaxy as traders, explorers, and diplomats, not warriors. Their ships appear outdated, their weapons primitive, and their military doctrine focuses on defense rather than conquest. Captain Drone, leader of the Mechanical Servo Collective, presents tactical data showing human ships using simple projectile weapons and basic energy shields. The Coalition's plasma cannons, quantum missiles, and reality warping devices should easily destroy any human resistance. As the final preparations complete, long-range sensors detect something unusual approaching from deep space. A single ship emerges from the darkness between stars, moving toward the Coalition fleet at impossible speed. The vessel appears human in design, but unlike any ship in their databases. The mysterious battleship maintains course directly toward the center of the Armada formation. Coalition communications officers attempt to establish contact, but receive only silence. Scanner readings show the ship's massive size, nearly twice as long as the Coalition's largest dreadnought. The alien commanders debate whether this lone vessel represents a surrender mission or some desperate final gambit. Some suggest capturing the ship intact to study human technology. Others recommend immediate destruction to send a clear message about the Coalition's overwhelming power. The human battleship continues its steady approach, showing no signs of slowing or changing course. Its hull appears to be made from unknown materials that reflect sensor scans in strange ways. No weapons are visible on its smooth surface, and no energy signatures match any known technology. The Coalition fleet maintains defensive formation as the mysterious human vessel closes distance. Admiral Cora orders all ships to battle stations while keeping weapons powered down, a show of strength without immediate aggression. Communications Officer Xyle from the insectoid hive mind attempts multiple contact frequencies. The human ship responds with a simple message. This is Captain Stone of the Terran Defense Force. You have entered human space with hostile intent. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. The alien commanders find this ultimatum amusing. General Vrak of the Armored Titan clans laughs openly at the idea of a single ship threatening their massive armada. The Coalition's response comes swiftly. Surrender unconditionally or be destroyed. Captain Stone's reply arrives after a long pause. So be it. You were warned. The human battleship suddenly stops, hanging motionless in space exactly 4 million kilometers from the Coalition's front line. Scanner operators report strange energy readings building inside the vessel's hull. The ship's surface begins to shimmer with an unknown type of radiation. Fleet commanders order immediate attack patterns. Wave after wave of Coalition ships move forward, preparing to demonstrate their overwhelming firepower. The plan calls for a coordinated strike from all directions. enough destructive force to shatter a small moon. Meanwhile, the human battleship remains perfectly still. No defensive measures activate, no shields raise, no weapons emerge from its hull. The vessel appears to be completely helpless against the approaching assault. Commander Vex feels confident as hundreds of Coalition warships reach optimal firing range. Victory seems assured. The alien fleet has every advantage. Superior numbers, advanced technology, battle-tested tactics, and the element of surprise. The first Coalition ships open fire. Plasma beams, quantum torpedoes, and gravitational disruptors shriek through space toward their target. The combined firepower could destroy entire planets, yet something impossible happens. Every single projectile and energy beam stops exactly 1,000 kilometers from the human ship. The weapons simply hang in space as if frozen in time. Coalition gunners fire again with the same result. Their most powerful attacks cannot advance closer to the mysterious vessel. Panic begins spreading through the alien fleet. Scientific officers frantically scan the area around the human battleship, searching for some explanation. Their instruments detect a field of unknown energy surrounding the ship, but no known technology could create such a barrier. The human battleship finally moves. Its surface opens like a flower, revealing internal structures that hurt to look at directly. Strange geometric patterns emerge from the hull, rotating in directions that seem to bend space itself. Captain Stone's voice echoes across all Coalition communication channels simultaneously. Final warning. Leave now or witness the true power of humanity. Several alien commanders order immediate retreat, but others demand a full assault. The Coalition fleet splits its response, some ships backing away while others advance for a desperate final attack. The human battleship completes its transformation. What appeared to be a simple warship now resembles something beyond current understanding of physics. Energy patterns flow across its surface in impossible configurations that make reality itself seem unstable. The Coalition's most advanced ships launch their final desperate attack. The crystalline shardlings fire their reality-cutting beams, while the Servo Collective deploys quantum disruptors that can erase matter from existence. Nothing penetrates the barrier surrounding the human vessel. Inside the Coalition fleet, Admiral Cora realizes they face something beyond conventional warfare. Her scientific advisors report that the energy field around the human ship operates on principles unknown to galactic science. The field doesn't just stop their weapons. It seems to make them cease existing entirely. The human battleship begins to sing. The sound travels through space without any medium, reaching every ship in the Coalition fleet simultaneously. It's not heard through communication systems, but felt directly in the minds of every living being. The melody is hauntingly beautiful, yet filled with ancient sorrow. Captain Rex feels his scales tingle as the impossible music washes over his consciousness. Around him, his crew members from various species all experience the same phenomenon. A song that speaks to something deeper than hearing, something that touches the very essence of life itself. The singing grows stronger, and strange things begin happening throughout the Coalition fleet. Weapon systems shut down without any external interference. Shields flicker and fail despite full power levels. Navigation computers display impossible readings that make no mathematical sense. Commander Vex watches in horror as his flagship's hull begins to vibrate in harmony with the alien song. The metal itself seems to respond to the melody, creating resonance patterns that threaten the ship's structural integrity. His engineers report that molecular bonds in the hull plating are becoming unstable. The human battleship's transformation continues. More geometric structures emerge from its surface, each one defying three-dimensional space. The vessel appears to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, its true size and shape impossible to determine with normal sensors. Captain Stone's voice returns, but now it sounds different. Older, sadder, carrying the weight of millennia. You should have listened. Humanity tried to warn the galaxy. We tried to stay hidden, but you forced our hand. Strange lights begin dancing around the Coalition ships. These aren't weapon effects or energy discharges. They're something else entirely. The lights move like living things, exploring the alien vessels with obvious intelligence and curiosity. Admiral Cora's science officer, a brilliant Aquarian named Flux, makes a terrifying discovery. The lights aren't separate entities, they're extensions of the human battleship itself. The vessel isn't just a machine. It's alive, conscious, and vast beyond imagination. The Coalition fleet tries to retreat, but their engines won't respond. Every ship finds itself locked in position by forces beyond their understanding. They can only watch as the human vessel continues its impossible transformation. More of the ship's surface opens, revealing internal chambers that stretch into infinity. Inside these spaces, glimpses of incredible technology become visible, machines that bend space and time, energy sources that tap into the fundamental forces of creation itself. The singing reaches a crescendo, and reality around the Coalition fleet begins to change. Stars in the background shift position. The fabric of space itself ripples like water. Some ships report that time is flowing backward inside their hulls while moving forward outside. Captain Stone's final message echoes through dimensions. Humanity ascended long ago. We became something more than flesh and metal. We tried to protect the galaxy from this knowledge, but you wouldn't let us hide. Now you must witness what we truly are. The human battleship completes its transformation. What stands before the Coalition fleet is no longer a ship in any conventional sense. It's a manifestation of post-human consciousness given physical form, a being of pure thought and energy that exists across multiple realities simultaneously. The entity that was once humanity's greatest warship prepares to demonstrate why humans disappeared from galactic affairs. The Coalition fleet faces not just advanced technology, but the evolved consciousness of an entire species that transcended physical limitations centuries ago. The entity begins its demonstration. The transformed human consciousness reaches out with invisible tendrils of thought and energy. Every Coalition ship finds itself completely immobilized, held in place by forces that operate beyond physical law. Crews throughout the fleet experience growing terror as they realize their weapons, shields, and engines are now completely useless. Time, 0:30. Reality becomes fluid. Space around the Coalition fleet starts behaving like liquid. Ships that were kilometers apart suddenly find themselves side by side. Others discover they're occupying the same coordinates as vessels from different species, yet somehow not colliding. The normal rules of physics no longer apply. Admiral Cora watches her tactical display show impossible readings. Ships appear to be in multiple locations simultaneously. Distance measurements fluctuate wildly. Her navigation officer, a normally calm Aquarian, reports that their vessel exists in 17 different positions at once. Time, 1:00. The harvest begins. The human entity starts extracting information directly from Coalition minds. Every tactical plan, every technological secret, every strategic advantage the alien alliance possessed flows into the post-human consciousness. Military commanders feel their thoughts being read like open books. Captain Rex experiences the horrifying sensation of his memories being copied and analyzed. The entity examines his entire military career in seconds, understanding every battle tactic, every weapon system, every weakness in Coalition defenses with perfect clarity. Time, 1:30. Technology becomes obsolete. The entity demonstrates its complete understanding of Coalition technology by taking control of every system simultaneously. Weapons turn on their own ships. Life support systems begin operating in reverse. Computer cores start displaying messages in languages that don't exist. Commander Vex watches helplessly as his flagship's quantum processors begin calculating impossible mathematical equations. The computers aren't malfunctioning. They're being forced to perform operations that transcend normal mathematics, solving problems in dimensions that shouldn't exist. Time, 2:00. The lesson begins. Without warning, Coalition ships start experiencing system failures in perfect synchronization. Every vessel loses exactly the same capabilities at exactly the same moment. Shields fail, weapons power down, and engines stop, but life support remains perfectly functional. The entity speaks through every communication system simultaneously. You came here believing in the superiority of your weapons and numbers. We will show you why humanity withdrew from galactic affairs. Not from fear, but from mercy. Time: 2:30. Demonstrations of power. The entity begins casually displaying abilities that make coalition technology look primitive. It moves entire ships through space without touching them. It alters the molecular structure of hull plating from a distance. It creates miniature stars and extinguishes them like candles. General Vrak of the Titan clans watches in stunned silence as his heavily armored dreadnought's impenetrable hull turns transparent. He can see through the walls of his own ship, observe neighboring vessels, and witness the impossible sight of his fleet suspended in altered space-time. Time: 3 o'clock. The ultimatum. This is your final lesson, the entity announces. Humanity evolved beyond the need for conquest or territory. We became guardians of reality itself. Your alliance threatens the balance we maintain. Choose: withdraw and never return, or cease to exist. The coalition commanders frantically attempt to communicate with each other, but their messages arrive before they're sent. Past and future become meaningless concepts as temporal distortions increase around the fleet. Time: 3:30. The countdown. Every ship's computer begins displaying the same countdown timer: 30 seconds to decide. The entity explains that this represents the last opportunity for the coalition to choose wisdom over destruction. Captain Stone's voice returns, sounding deeply sad. We hoped you would understand without this demonstration. Humanity tried to remain hidden to prevent exactly this situation. But you forced us to reveal ourselves. Time: 4 o'clock. The decision. Admiral Cora manages to broadcast a surrender message on behalf of the entire coalition fleet. The entity acknowledges this decision and begins releasing its hold on reality around the ships. As normal physics gradually returns, the coalition fleet finds itself completely intact but forever changed. Every crew member carries the memory of witnessing power beyond imagination. Every computer core contains new knowledge about the true nature of advanced civilization. The entity begins its transformation back to ship form, but not before delivering one final message. Remember what you've seen here. Humanity withdrew from galactic affairs to protect lesser species from this knowledge. Never again attempt to threaten human space. We will not be so merciful a second time. The demonstration concludes exactly 4 minutes after it began, leaving the coalition fleet intact but utterly humbled. The coalition fleet hangs motionless in space, every ship's crew struggling to process what they've witnessed. The human entity completes its transformation back to battleship form, but everyone knows they're not looking at a conventional vessel. They've seen behind the facade and understand the terrible truth about humanity's real nature. Admiral Cora breaks the stunned silence by opening fleet-wide communications. Her voice shakes as she addresses the entire coalition. All ships, stand down from combat operations. Prepare for immediate withdrawal from human space. The various species commanders offer no resistance. General Vrak's proud Titan clans, known for never retreating, begin powering down their weapons without a word. The logical servo collective calculates new probability matrices that show any further aggression results in 100% destruction rates. Captain Rex finds himself staring at his tactical displays with new understanding. The readings show normal space, normal physics, normal reality. But he knows it's all an illusion. The humans allow normal reality to exist around them as an act of mercy, not because they're bound by its limitations. The human battleship begins moving away from the coalition fleet, its impossible song fading to whispers in the minds of alien crews. As it departs, the entity's voice reaches every ship one final time. What you witness today represents the smallest fraction of humanity's true capabilities. We evolved beyond physical existence millions of years ago. The few humans you've encountered in your galaxy are voluntary exiles who chose to remain in physical form to maintain contact with younger species. Commander Vex realizes the horrifying implications. Every human trader, diplomat, and explorer the galaxy has met represents individuals who deliberately limited themselves to appear normal. The real human civilization exists in dimensions beyond alien comprehension. The entity continues its explanation. Your alliance was formed to threaten what you believed was a weak human civilization. In reality, you were preparing to attack the guardians of galactic stability. We maintain the balance that prevents reality itself from collapsing under the weight of advanced civilizations. Scientific officers throughout the Coalition fleet begin detecting massive energy signatures throughout human space. What they previously thought was empty territory now reveals itself as containing structures that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Entire star systems appear to be artificial constructs maintained by post-human consciousness. The lesson you've learned today must be shared throughout the galaxy. The entity states, other species must understand why humanity withdrew from galactic politics. We didn't abandon the galaxy. We transcended it while remaining its protectors. Admiral Cora receives new data from her sensors showing the true scope of human territory. The boundaries they thought defined human space were actually just the visible edges of a multidimensional civilization that extends throughout the galaxy and beyond. As the human battleship prepares to disappear back into the void between dimensions, it leaves the Coalition with final instructions. Return to your homeworlds. Dissolve your military alliance. Share the knowledge of what you've witnessed. The galaxy must understand that humanity's withdrawal was an act of protection, not weakness. The various alien commanders begin receiving detailed information about humanity's true role in galactic affairs. The entity downloads centuries of suppressed history directly into their computer systems, revealing how post-human consciousness has been secretly preventing cosmic disasters and maintaining stability among younger civilizations. Captain Stone's voice returns for the last time, now sounding tired beyond measure. We hoped never to reveal ourselves like this. Maintaining the illusion of being a normal species required constant effort. But your threat to galactic stability forced our hand. The human battleship begins fading from normal spacetime, its dimensional existence becoming too complex for standard sensors to track. As it disappears, the entity leaves behind a final gift: complete technological specifications that will advance Coalition science by thousands of years. The gift comes with a warning. Use this knowledge wisely. Remember that with great power comes the responsibility to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Perhaps one day, your species will also choose to transcend physical limitations and join us as guardians of reality. As the last traces of the human entity fade from detection, the Coalition fleet begins its long journey home. Every ship carries the burden of impossible knowledge and the responsibility to reshape galactic civilization's understanding of humanity's true nature. The age of human mystery has ended, but the age of human guardianship continues. The galaxy now knows that its most powerful protectors were always watching from the shadows, ensuring that reality itself remains stable while younger species learn and grow. The Coalition's planned conquest has become a pilgrimage, carrying the message that some powers are too great to challenge and too benevolent to fear.